Welcome back to the next episode of the Beginner's Guide. This is episode 20, I believe, which is awesome. And today we're actually going to kind of take a break from the main stuff and we're going to do some side stuff. So one of the things we can do is we can create synthetic polyester fabric using plastic. And it's this polymer resin. It's basically oil, a byproduct of oil. And yeah, if we start research, we can do this. We can create fabric anytime, anywhere.
Research completed.
So yeah. And then the other thing I wanted to do, and this is for the following episode, but I figured since we're already here, let's do rocket fuel. I have the empty fluid tanks and I have the packaged turbo fuel. We might as well just do rocket fuel. And in the next episode, we'll do an expansion on our current power plant, which is going to be awesome. So, polymer resin. What does that take? Well, let's put down 2 of these because we're also going to look at smokeless powder. Or not polymer resin, fabric. Polyester fabric. That's just polymer resin and water. That's really easy. We could actually knock this out immediately. Now let's take a look at smokeless powder, and that is black powder and heavy oil residue. That is also really easy. We could knock this out pretty quickly too. And so we probably don't even need to do a whole lot here. But the one thing we do need to do is figure out where we're going to get black powder from. And that could be a challenge. It might not be though. I have a temporary setup for black powder, but I don't want to use it, so I'll show you here on the map. Over here I have black powder being produced, but I actually want to convert this to a future use per se. Like, I don't want to use these right now. So we need to find a different coal and sulfur source, which might be a challenge, but if I remember correctly, I think there is sulfur here and coal over here, and if I bring them together we can make some black powder and we can send it down the train to over here and use our first oil power plant that we did and convert the heavy oil residue from that with the black powder to smokeless powder, because we don't need the power from these for we are using this power here. So that might be pretty cool. We should definitely do that. And then the polyester fabric is taking this line of polymer resin and then this water. We could just adjust this a little bit and we'd be golden. So let's do that. Let's head out there. First of all, let's head out there. And then we can take care of this all in one sweep. Now it's a good thing we actually came out here to check on this, because we got some slowdowns, because this is filling up, because these are full, because I'm not making any packaged fuel, because I'm not making any canisters, because we're sending all the plastic back. Yeah, whoopsies. Okay, well, it's a good thing we're actually going to do smokeless powder here instead. Might actually be a good thing. So yeah, this whole setup here will probably get torn down and we can make some smokeless powder. And then as for the polyester fabric, that will probably go in that area there. So I just want to confirm how much we're making. 20 times 20 is 400. And so we'll need to figure out how much fabric we're actually going to make. But we might leave this one as plastic so we can make packaged turbo fuel. That's what that's for. So this one's taking 60, so we know I don't have my calculator down here. But good thing the game has a calculator. So we're doing 20 by 20, which is 400. So 400 minus 60 divided by 30. That's, yeah, okay. I should have seen that coming. So it's what, 400 minus 60 divided by 30. Well, that sucks. And let's just double overclock it. Okay. 5.67. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. All we have to do is just transfer or swap this over to fabric. And this will already go into a sink. So we are taking 0 risks here. The polyester fabric. Double overclocked. And we'll do the same here. Polyester fabric, double overclocked. And we might as well copy and paste all of this. But this one, we gotta be careful here. So what was it? 340 divided by 60. So if we do 5 by 60, that's 300, there's 40 left. We can just set this to 40. And there we go. So now we have a problem with water. So we know we have 20, and then 60, and 40. So it's 20 plus 40 plus 60 times 5. We need 360. We're going to need an extra pump. At 180, that's 360. Perfect. That should handle it. Let's color this red now. There we go. That's pretty simple. So now we just gotta wait for the fabric to catch up. Or the polymer resin, I should say. And this is producing plenty of fabric. What speed are these? Okay, I gotta figure out how much we're actually producing. 60 times 5 is 300 plus 40, 340. What size belts are these? Yep, that doesn't work. Okay. So that's our fabric. And yeah, we're sending it to the sink right now. This is simple enough to just send to storage. Alright, there we go. So now we got fabric going into storage with overflow going there. And then we can actually set up a depot on top. And start getting fabric into storage. That we can use anytime, anywhere. That's pretty cool. So that is automatic fabric. And I just pulled it right off of our power plant, which is really easy. So you could definitely do that yourself. Alright, we're over here in the Rocky Desert, so we're way up here. If we scan for coal, I'm pretty certain there's some coal over here. Yep. So that's impure, normal, and normal. Wow. Voice crack. Jeez. I'm fairly certain there's one up here. Yeah, there we go. Normal. So if we can if we can combine the normal with the normal, we could do some pretty good stuff here. Alrighty, I got the black powder set up. I did the math, and all I need is 165 coal and 165 sulfur. I just need 10 of the black powder for the smokeless powder that I'm gonna make. And then I have one additional that I'm gonna put on a train and send it to the storage unit. And I'll do the same thing with the smokeless powder. I'll just send that to the storage unit. And now all we're doing is collecting a bunch of smokeless powder, or sorry, black powder. We'll make the smokeless powder where we need to. I did the math here, so the trip took about 4.5 minutes. I just rounded up to 5 minutes, so that's 300 seconds. And then we need to bring 300 black powder per minute, divided by 60 to convert that to seconds. And then we can stack 200. And we have 32 stacks available. We just need 0.25 cars to transport this. Pretty simple. It's a nice, easy calculation. Now we just gotta wait for the train to come back, which is right there. Alright, here's the train. Let's hop on in. Let's collect our first batch of black powder. Alright, here's the Smokeless Powder train station. And we will just be dropping off into here. And this will be pretty simple. So we just need to extract it. And we can actually eliminate most of this now. I'm fairly certain we can eliminate most of this. In fact, I'm pretty sure we can eliminate these too. Alright, so the only thing we don't want to eliminate is anything on this side of the purple pipe. So let's start eliminating. Are we lined up? No, we're not. Alright, now we're lined up. I think that's how far we need to go. Yep. Beautiful. That's what we gotta do here. So we need to remove that. We can have it line up here. And then we need the pipes. Come in straight. And then we send it this direction. But I need to build all of them first. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I can build all the junctions. Alrighty. Now we just connect all the pipes. And we just connect up the black powder to all of these. And slap these together. And then we just connect up to the train station. And that is all there is to it. And now we just need to power everything. Okay. Now we are making smokeless powder, which is exactly what we wanted to do. We are making 15 times 20, that's 300 smokeless powder per minute. What am I gonna do with this? I have no idea. I really don't. I really only need to send one of these to storage, and then the other bits of it can go to the sink, I guess? I don't know. Alright, there we go. We now have storage and overflow in case I have extra. So, there we go. Smokeless powder. We're good. We're done. We got fabric, we got smokeless powder, we got everything. Which is great. Got black powder? Yeah. We did exactly what we intended to do in this episode. Converted this over to a smokeless powder factory. So now we're actually generating less power. So let's look at how much power we have. We have 44,000 megawatts of power being produced. And we are consuming 31,000 with a max consumption of almost 40,000. We're almost out of power. Would you believe that? We're almost out of power. And I told you, it's going to get us through most of the game. So, thankfully, this is timed so perfectly that in the next episode, we're going to upgrade this power plant to a rocket fuel power plant. And we unlocked rocket fuel earlier today. So just to give you an idea, I've already written down what we need. We're going to need 888.88 nitrogen gas, which we have sitting right over there. We're going to need 222 water. Hey, look at that. That's a lot of water. 74.1 iron plates. There's iron over there that we'll just pull from. And this is everything we'll need. And so in the next episode, we'll be producing 133,333 megawatts of power. We're going to need to expand our generators immensely. This is going to be crazy, but it's going to be good because we'll actually have power to last us the rest of the game. And all we have to do is add nitrogen gas, iron plates, and water. That's it. That's all we have to do. And then this is an upgrade. So yeah, I hope you're excited for that in the next episode. I know I am. And I'll see you there.